Testing. Feel like we never. Oh, the thing of death has come up. So let's see. Is this working? Did I mess anything up? Can you guys hear me? Definitely wasn't a scheduled live stream. So yeah, let's see how badly I messed this up. Who do we have here today? 3 people watching. XC Ben, it's working. Awesome. Sweet. Running Fish in the house. Luke LLK. Matt Horskin is in the house. Who else do we have? What's going on, you guys? How's everyone doing? Whoa, my hair looks absolutely ridiculous right now. What is going on here? All right, who else do we have here? We have Travis in the house, Running Fish, Keenan, Metal Slug just joined us. How's everyone doing today? So, little bit of a last minute live stream, but figured a lot of people have been messaging me 29er questions, so I think it's time that we broke this down. I was going to show you guys the 29ers that I've been demoing over the last couple of weeks, testing out, and just kind of give you guys like my breakdown. Luke, the audio sounds a lot better than normal. I think it's because I'm talking into these speakers which have a mic. Luke, Seek Your Nature, Blair's in the house. Keenan, love your video. Hair looks dope. Thanks a bunch, dude. I really appreciate that. What else do we have in the house today? We're gonna give it a couple of minutes. I'd say probably like 2 or 3, 4 or 5 minutes, just because this is a little bit of a last minute live stream. Let people trickle on in. So far, I'm seeing 5 people in here, but I also don't know really how to use the technology too well. So I think there might be more. I'm just not seeing it. But Cubilus, Colt in the house, Michael in the house. What's going on, Michael? Kurt is in the house. Kurt, I haven't seen you in a bit, dude. What's going on? Running Fish, doing great. Just got a new Renthal fat bar. Oh, that's going to be fun, dude. Thomas in the house. Oh, people are saying 30, 31. Okay, yeah, I obviously don't know how to, and my thing says 5, but Cubilus in the house. MTB Shredder says, is Hannah napping? Hannah actually has the flu. She also gave it to me too, so we both had it for a little bit, but I definitely am coping a lot better than her. She's on bed rest, so she's behind me, but she is like beyond, she's just resting at this point. Who else we got in here? Kurt is saying I should do some dreads. Did I do dreads, you guys? I saw that dude at the Specialized Factory had dreads. It looked really rad, so maybe I'll do some. What, Hannah? All right. Who else do we have in here? I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to this. Why do I not know how to do this? About to buy an Ibis Ripley LS to go Cold 45. You didn't hear it on this live stream, but hold off. Don't buy that Ripley just yet. You didn't hear it here. I'm not going to say anything more. Hold off. I can't say anything else. I don't want to ruin anything. Hold off until tomorrow. That's all I'm going to say here. You heard it here first. To Colt 45, I'm going to go ahead and say hold off until tomorrow. Like insider scoop. All right, best 29er is a 27.5. That is not true, JRA. The best 29er is a long travel 29er. MTB Shredder says rest and lots of Tylenol and water. Yep, she's been on the Tylenol kick. That thing helps a ton. So Hannah needs a cup of concrete. Steady spin, $9.99 super chat. Live streams are always fun and never go the same every time. Glad you are rocking. Steady spin, thank you so much for that $9.99 super chat. I really appreciate it. We're going to use that for gas money. And at this point, just more Tylenol and Halls, because that is freaking, yeah, it's the flu, the cold, all that stuff is no fun. Hopefully everyone's doing good. Sorry, Mo, but I think you might look stupid with dude, Luke, that's not very nice, Luke. I'll have to put you in timeout if you do. All right, so I wish I could, hold on. I'm going to close the chats real quick just because I still am showing 5 people in this chat. What do we actually have? Oh, wow. No, yeah, definitely not at 5 people anymore. How many do we have? Okay, we're at 50. More cookies, more cookies. Steady spin, honestly, thank you so much for that super chat. Really appreciate it. We're about to get into this. Before we get into the actual bikes, though, I want to show you guys our new logo. So let me see if I can find it. Where did I put that thing? Here it is. What do you guys think about this? What's everyone's thought? Let's see. I'll give it a couple of seconds for everything to come in. Why does my phone keep turning that thing off. It's not on battery saver. I don't want it on battery saver. I want it to stay on. But 52 gamers unit. Oh man, the chat's for Mo's a chill guy, deserves a long travel 29 from every company that makes one. MTV Shredder. I really appreciate that. If every company would reach out with a free bike, I would happily accept. All right, that's Hot Mo. Gamer Super Sick says Kurt. XC Ben's not sure about it. Vic says I think it's dope. That's pretty good. Awesome logo. You should go to Texas. Spider Mountain says go adventure. Want looks cool. All right, so this is gonna be one of the new logos. Let me see if I could find the rest. I'll pull this up real quick, you guys. And so let's see if I can open this. So those are going to be basically like sticker design, t-shirt concept, decal concept, water bottles. So if you guys can see like hold on. Okay. All right. Let me just text someone right now. Okay, let's see what we got. So what do you guys think? I'm going to check this comment section. Yeah, Pink Ring totally would rock on that shirt. If you were in SoCal, make awesome smaller faces, bigger, love the colors, nice logo. Okay, so seeing some good feedback coming from this right now. Yeah, I would say like water bottles. We're going to get mud guards made, so that's going to be cool. Stay tuned for that. Just a bunch of really cool merch. I know we've been freaking slacking on the merch game, but I really love this logo. Really happy that we got this thing freaking dialed in. So, yeah, you guys are basically, it's insider look. No one's really seen it besides our Patreon. Or should I say it in Mo's voice? Yeah, Vic, I really like that, dude. Yeah, I really appreciate the feedback, you guys. Stay tuned for all of the merch coming soon. We should put in our sticker order tomorrow. But you guys are basically some of the few people to have seen this. So, all right. Now, with that being said, how many people do we have in here? Well, I'm just going to start going. All right. So I've been riding a lot of long travel. I wouldn't even say long travel. I would say, what is long? I consider like 160, 170 mils of travel. That's like a proper long travel bike. We're not talking that. XC Ben, thank you so much to XC Ben for that $10 super chat. Really appreciate it, dude. He says more gas and Tylenol money, dude. We really appreciate it because we're heading to Bellingham within the next week, I would say. So we can definitely use that gas money. Really appreciate you supporting the dream. Thank you so much. You appreciate XC Ben Bet. So yeah, so I've been demoing a lot of bikes, just testing out anything I can get my hands on. Really curious about everything, just different suspension platforms and whatnot. And basically, I would say I'm really enjoying the 140 mil 29er. So like my Firebird is 165. Reckoning is in that category. Enduro, those are cool bikes, but like there's just something about that 130, 140 mil 29er that feels really good. And so that's kind of been my kick right now. I feel like that's the sweet spot. You can beef them up a little bit. You can do some gnarly enduro riding. At the same time, they pedal really well. They're nice, poppy, and playful. With that being said, there's a lot of those style bikes on the market. There's the Ibis Ritmo. There's the Specialized Stump Jumper. There's the Rocky Mountain Instinct, says Christian Rodriguez. There's the Niner Rip 9. There's so many different bikes on the market that it's somewhat hard to choose from. So I'm just going to go through like the couple of bikes that we've demoed last. So I'm going to start off with this bike, which is the Ibis Ritmo. And if you guys have any questions too, let me know in the chat section. I'll try to check them out after talking about the bikes. So basically, I'll give like a quick review about the bike. Then I'll check the chat section as best as I can. Try to bear with me. I'm going to try my best. I really want to make this all inclusive. So this is, let's go to build your Ritmo. So this is, and I am partial here to the Ritmo because my name is in the actual name of the bike. The Ibis Ritmo was a bike that we demoed probably, I would say, a month ago. Really insanely fun bike. Probably one of the most playful, poppy 29ers, I would say, period. Like, that's how far I'm going with the Ibis Ritmo. So if you're the type of rider out there that like you are not sure if 140 mils might be too much travel for you, say you're on the fence, you don't really want to make that transition, Sorry, you guys. I just gotta. My phone keeps. Does anyone know the display and brightness? I don't want it to go to night shift. Does anyone know how to stop that? Because I can't read your guys's night shift off. Just want. Ah, man, just stop the. Basically, that my phone was where I'm reading the chat, and it just keeps going off. But okay. Anyways, let's stop. Let's stop talking about that. But so basically, like if you're someone who I didn't feel like the Ritmo was a proper long travel 29er. It didn't blow me away in terms of sticking to the ground. It didn't blow me away in terms of stability. Its forte is definitely not stability. If you get on this bike and you think it's going to be a bike that you're basically going to need to just shift your body weight back and just hold on, just basically fly on down, not the case with this bike. It's a bike that like it really wants you to I would say you need to weight the front end a little bit more so just to keep that front end from getting twitchy on you. It's a little bit twitchy from the front end, but the trade-off, like this is where the fun stuff is literally if you envision a line in your mind, you can make that line happen on the trail. So like if I envision myself popping from one section of a trail to another section, I can pop and maybe even go like 3 feet further. It's super poppy, super playful, really responsive. And I would say like if you're on the fence about 29ers, and I would highly someone saying Mo, go to the settings and search night mode, then switch it off. Yeah, that's the weirdest thing. Like my night mode and my let me see. Sorry, you guys. As soon as I get this figured out, we're gonna be we'll be set for a while. It just the chat basically just keeps going. So we want to go to accessibility, about, general, display and brightness. Yeah, night shift is turned off. Manually, less warm, more warm. No, I don't want it warm. Why does my phone want me to make it warm? Scheduled? How do I? Okay, night shift off. Okay, you know what? I think we're good for right now. I'm just gonna unplug my phone for a little bit, and then let's see what happens. Sweet. So where was I? Well, I lost you guys at some point. Sorry, you guys. I know I'm all over the place right now. Just put it all the way bright. No problemo. It should stay. Pro tip, best way. Yeah. So, okay. Going back to bikes. So yeah, if you're on the fence about a long travel 29er, highly recommend checking out the Ritmo. It's almost like, I would say the gateway drug to the 29er enduro bike. So like if it's going to be your first 29er bike and you're really trying to figure out like if you even want to go that route, highly recommend checking this thing out. It's freaking mental. So poppy, playful, not the most stable. So if you are looking for a proper 29er, I might consider something else. But any questions on the Ritmo? The other cool thing with the Ritmo are the builds. So I would say you do get a lot of bang for buck. So if you like go to build your Ritmo, right? And I personally think that the NX build is actually pretty rad, especially with that new NX stuff. Because if you guys don't know, the NX is 12 speed now. And that cassette, let me show you guys the cassette real quick. Mo, find the cassette. Right here. So you get an 1150. The only thing you're really missing out on in comparison to XX1 is that 10. With that being said, I would say you're saving so much money with the NX build. What I would do, I would go to the NX build. You're at $41.99. It's a solid build. If that's the way you want to run it, run it. If you are trying to figure out, okay, what are some things that maybe I can play around with to make this a little bit more of a like proper enduro bike, I want to spend a little bit more. Say you have like a little bit of extra money in the bank. So I personally would probably buy DVO, but we are super biased here. But if you're just going off of the stock, so I would upgrade the fork to the Fox 36 Grip 2. I think a very justifiable difference. I would upgrade to the Fox X2. And then when you go down here, okay, so they're showing that you can't actually upgrade the dropper post. So let me show you guys where that dropper post is real quick. So it says here that the C post is the KSE30i dropper. Now, what IBIS and what your bike shop probably doesn't tell you is that you can actually upgrade that seat post for a small additional charge. All you got to do is basically when you go to your bike shop and you're talking build, just tell them like, hey, I want to get the Fox transfer because the KS E30i, I would say not the most reliable dropper post on the market. So if you guys want to like spec this build, I would talk to your bike shop, ask them to talk to Ibis about what the upgrade cost would be to upgrade that to the Fox transfer or maybe even the bike yoke. And it'll probably be like an additional $100, but let's see what we did here. So basically for that build at 4869 carbon frame, top of the line suspension, a really solid drivetrain. I know I saw someone in the chat, MTB Shredder said that Cassetto is freakishly heavy, but for budget builders, it's good. Then you need XD driver. Yeah, so I would say like if you're a weight weenie, obviously might not be the build to go with. But if you're just like you're getting your foot in the door for like a proper enduro style 29er, you really have your heart set on Ibis. I think it's very tough to beat that. Although there are ways to beat that, but what I really like about this build is nice frame, nice suspension, nice brakes. You can get a good dropper post on there. And like I said, very poppy, playful enduro style bike. So I'm going to go through the chat really quick before we move on to the next bike. But any questions about the Ibis Ritmo? Sorry, we're going to treat this a little bit like school, but what do we got here? MTB Shredder says, I would want performance and lead than the performance. That is true. I want to ride the Fazzari LaSalle Peak. We'll get to the Fazzari, but Thomas, all of that twitchy handling is able to be corrected with a seat time, i.e. getting used to and comfortable around your bike. Thomas, completely agree with you. The more you ride that bike, you'll definitely get a little bit more familiar with the front end of the bike. With all that being said, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing that it is a little bit more responsive in the front, which does translate a little bit to twitchiness. I think that's what makes the Ibis Ritmo unique, and the fact that it actually does feel like a proper 27.5-inch enduro bike, even though it has 29-inch wheels. But Kestrel says, hey, Mo and Hannah, how you guys doing? Glad I'm catching up. Hey, Kestrel, we'll love to see you here. Hannah's sick right now. I'm doing the live stream just talking about bikes. But Dale says, new Ripley comes out tomorrow. I didn't say it, Dale. You said it. Evan says, hi, Mo. Hi, Evan. How you doing? Anyone else with any questions on the Ibis Ritmo? Quinn says, 1UP is the most reliable, dude. Quinn, I haven't tried the 1UP dropper post myself, so I can't speak to it, but the Fox transfer has been really reliable for me, and so has the bike yoke. Has been a new post we've been experimenting with, and it's been doing really well. Anyone else? Hey, Mo. Talking about my Ritmo, I've ever changed the NX rear derailleur to a GX. I love my Ritmo. That's awesome, Kenny, that you have the Ritmo. And yeah, I do think that GX might be a little bit better way to go than NX. However, if you're really trying to just start off and you don't want to break the bank too much, I think the NX is a very good price value alternative. How would the Ritmo do with a Cane Creek inline coil using MRP's progressive spring? So I can't speak for MRP's progressive spring. I can speak for DVO. And they actually have been, the guys over at DVO have been doing some testing on the Ritmo chassis with that new coil Jade X. And it does really well. I think that's where it's going to be a game changer for the Ibis Ritmo, is as soon as you can run a shock, I would say like a coil shock, to basically settle down the rear end just a tad. And I think maybe running this bike with a little bit of a higher rise bar and then maybe going about 10 to 15 millimeters on each side of the handlebars. I think that way you're going to stabilize the front end a little bit and then basically stabilize the rear end too. Ah, God, you guys, we have a Canadian in the chat. Paul the Punter, just how good are bikes? Bikes are cool, especially when you can squeeze in a 4-hour ride on a Monday. Yeah, Paul, but question for you is, you squeezed in a 4-hour ride on a Monday. Are you going to be able to ride tomorrow? That is my question for you, Paul. Is that Paul the troll? I see. I like that, Evan. Dale, Brian Lopes is testing a fusion coil on a Ritmo. Yeah, I think a lot of people are starting to realize that as soon as you figure out the answer to the coil shock on DW Link, that's not a push shock, you're going to basically have a really dialed shock that's going to sell really well. But Dylan says, hey, Mo, I DM'd you. Where are you? Dylan, we saw your DM. It was about the Truckee, right? We are not in Truckee. We're still in Santa Cruz. So I've been meaning to get back to that. We're still trying to figure out if we're going to be swinging through Truckee. But Paul says, well, of course. I doubt that unless it's going to be on an e-bike, Paul. I want to see pictures from tomorrow's ride. JSR is saying IBIS plus coil warranty void. I talked to IBIS Cycles. The coil shock actually doesn't necessarily void your warranty on your frame. With that being said, there are a lot of factors that go into that. So the first thing I would do before actually running a coil shock on an IBIS Ritmo is talk to the suspension company and then talk to IBIS and see what everyone thinks. Do it over email so you have something in writing. I don't recommend just throwing a coil shock on a Ritmo unless you're okay with possibly sacrificing it. But I'd say if you guys do it over email, then a little bit safer in the long run. Say anything does happen to your frame. But all right, so I don't see any more questions on the IBIS Ritmo. We're going to move on to the next bike that we did ride. So we're going to go to the Specialized Stump Jumper. Hey, everyone, who wants to see Mo in the EWS YouTube race at Crankworks? We're going to have a lot of fun. Paul, I don't have the money for that. Unless you're going to sponsor it, I'll be happy to race it, but I don't have the money. So wait, is that Paul offering my entry fee to the EWS Whistler race? You guys, everyone start chanting Paul pay for Mo. Paul pay for Mo. Hell yeah, Paul. I want to see Mo try to race. I might buy that new Ripley LS. I want to see a sweaty Mo. Evan, that got creepy really quick. You guys, who wants to see Paul pay for my entry? 12 speed or 11 speed. 11 is the right answer. I personally think 11 is better than 12 speed. Without that being said, I know it's fair game. Paul, what a gentleman. Thanks for paying for Mo's entry. Everyone else is buying their own. But Paul, this is all about friendliness and camaraderie. Why don't you treat the American well? Paul, look what you started, Paul. If you don't buy me that entry, yeah, everyone donate. No, Paul, you're going to be donating to Mo's race fee. You look at all these people you're going to disappoint if you don't pay for my race fee. Paul, pay for my... You guys, yeah, I want you guys to constantly harass Paul from now until that race so that he can actually pay for my race fee. Okay, super chat, let's go. Hashtag Mo for EWS. No, Paul, you're paying. We don't need that. We need you to pay for my race fee, dude. Dylan says, are you guys sponsored? I am not sponsored. So no bike sponsor on my front. I do ride for DVO, no contract yet, but I would consider that like our only sponsorship. But this is amazing, says Paul. Paul, you got yourself into it. If you think this is bad, like you got the idea in my head. I have a feeling I know what I'm gonna do. Look forward to the next video. Yes, but all those donations you go back to Evan because you scared indeed. Pay for Mo. All right, you guys. So we're going to move on to the next bike, the Specialized Stump Jumper. And we're going to stop harassing Paul for a little bit. But who else do we got in here? Let's see. Specialized Stump Jumper. You guys, I'm sorry that I suck with the computer a little bit, but I'm on the right page, right? Stump Jumper. I'm going to stop paying attention to the chat just for a second, so don't go too crazy. Should I make Paul a moderator? What do you think, Hannah? Would Paul? No, Paul only stays in the chat for like 3 minutes to troll, and then he takes off. So he doesn't deserve to be a moderator. All right, so we're going to talk about this build right here. So this is the other bike. I'm going to check the chat real quick. Paul and Hannah, Da Vinci, I've been looking for new bikes. Okay, so the next bike we're going to talk about today is going to be the Specialized Stump Jumper 29. So I had a lot of fun on this bike. I've been looking at a few bikes. I got to stop reading chat. I'm just way too ADHD. But so the Specialized Stump Jumper was, I would say, a bike that kind of caught me off guard. So for a while there, like I had never really properly ridden a Specialized bike. Back where we're from, if you don't work in I would say a shop that basically only sells Specialized bikes, pretty hard to come about them. So they have like more proprietary shops in Orange County. And I never worked in a shop that did sell Specialized. So I was like, the stars never aligned, to be honest. Like none of my buddies rode Specialized bikes back home. And then like for whatever reason, like I would say like 2 years ago, I started meeting a lot of people that rode Specialized bikes. Made a lot of friends and all that stuff. Fast forward to now, I finally had the chance to demo the Stump Jumper, and it definitely blew me away. So A couple of things about the Specialized Stump Jumper: 140 mils of travel in the rear, 150 mils of travel up front. There is a lot of different ways you can get these bikes set up. They have different builds and all that stuff. So I'm going to start off with the suspension design. So it utilizes a little bit more of an active suspension design. So what I noticed when I was on the trail is this bike literally stayed glued to the ground. And if you guys see that rear shock there, I don't know if you guys can see it, absolutely blows. Probably one of the worst rear shocks like I have ridden in a while. With that being said, the bike still actually felt very good. I'm choking. Wow, I almost died. The bike still almost felt very good in the back. And what I mean by that is the bike still stayed planted. Where I thought that bike would get a little bit more kicked, the bike wouldn't have a shock that was flush enough or sensitive enough in the initial stroke. I didn't experience in that. And that's where I really started to notice like the platform, the suspension platform, like it's a very active one. So you get a lot of stability, especially in that initial stroke. But at the same time, when you went to go take that thing uphill, it pedaled insanely well. And I would say there's a lot of factors there. Number one, your seat position, the seat angle, relatively steep. Head angle is not necessarily the slackest. So you definitely get a bike that responds really well on the climbs. The chainstay, a little bit on the shorter side as well. So it's nice and snappy around the corners for those switchbacks. So those were just a couple of really cool things for it. It did really well at high speed. Like I can't stress that part enough. The front end did feel a little on the twitcher side as well. When I looked at it, when I looked at everything, I compared it to my bike, compared to some bikes we've been demoing. It does look like the overall stack height tends to be a little bit higher than I'm used to. So I would definitely need to basically slam that bar down, maybe run it with a bar with no rise. But I would say all in all, like the bike felt really planted to the ground and I was super stoked on it. I would say the other really cool thing with the Specialized, and for me personally, like if I was in the place where I'm trying to buy a bike like in that category, something that really stuck out to me was the SWAT system. So that's basically the storage container inside of the frame. I thought that was really insane. Like the ability to basically not only fit a bottle in the frame, which a lot of companies for whatever reason 2019 still can't figure out, the ability to basically not only do that, but store your tube in the frame as well as a, what are those called? A multi-tool on the bottle cage as well. But yeah, I would say like that whole thing was like really insane. So I was super pumped on it. But the other thing too, I didn't really like too much was basically that dropper post. So basically that thing is a rocket ship. It can absolutely take you out. And I don't know, I would say that was the only real drawback to this bike. The other cool thing is the price point. For $5,000, you get carbon wheels and a carbon frame, which I thought was really rad. And then the build is actually pretty rad too. You get GX. The suspension, yeah, needs a little bit of work. I would personally not want the carbon wheels. I would want to go with some alloy wheels and then probably just, I don't know what I would do. I would probably do the brakes and the suspension and then call it a day from there. But you guys saw Hannah's video. She fit like 8 Cliff Bars in that frame, 8 or 9 or something like that. But highly, I don't know, this is definitely a bike at the top of my list. With all that being said, I'm going to go to the comment section now. So if you guys have any comments, let me know right now because I'm going to the chat. Sorry if I've been ignoring anyone, but just trying to give my I don't know, I want to make this one a little bit more of an informative live stream. Maybe later on, like down the line this week, we'll do something a little bit funner, but okay, so what is going on in the chat, you guys? Oh my God. All right, besides Luke and Evan, here, super quick, should we put them on timeout? Put them on timeout, Hannah. I think Hannah's moderating. That's what it looks. The SWAT area is huge, says Steve. Steve, the SWAT area was huge. We were absolutely blown away by it, but Cliff Bars in the flame. Oh, Phoenix Matt is in the house. What's going on, dude? I'm dead. MTV Shredder. Mo becomes sterile from the dropper taking. Oh my God, MTV Shredder. Yeah, it was. I got very close. That thing is a freaking rocket ship. But Garrett Hecker says Luke and Evan mods. Maybe they should be mods. Honestly, I don't know. Hannah, what do you think? I think Hannah's mad at you guys. Luke and Evan. I mean, like, the Rum Dog have the 27.5 ST been amazing. MTB Shredder. Hey Hannah, get better. Yeah, you guys. Hannah has the flu, so um, the Rum Dog is saying drop the pressure in the dropper post. I'll try to drop the pressure, but some jumper pedals very well. I agree. Hannah is a god getting those cliff bars in. Mo 29-inch Troy. So does anyone have any more questions on the specialized stump jumper before we move on to the next bike? We are going to try and move on relatively soon. So, oh, Greg Russell says SoCal misses you, dude. Honestly, we miss you, Greg. Freaking, I'm sorry that we couldn't ride, but hopefully we can ride relatively soon. So, okay, so I'm about to move on. I've seen a couple of people ask for the Noli Fugitive and the Da Vinci Troy. Bayou saves a ton. Phoenix Matt, completely true. MTB Shredder, no. Okay, so what bike do you guys want to see next? So any advice for what bike you guys want me to talk about next? Basically tonight's live stream, we might do a funner one later on in the week, but we're just talking bikes right now. So anyone want me to go over any 29er trail bikes? So let the request come in and then maybe I will pick it. A hardtail. I'm gonna drink a little bit of water. Genius Ransom says JSR. Mine Banshee Prime. What else? Gorilla Gravity stuff. What else we got in here? All right, people are saying Mega Tower, Transition Sentinel, High Tower. Yeah, I know. Okay, which one do you guys want me to do first? Gorilla Gravity, Evil Offering, Jeff C, Sentinel for Trail, Mega Tower. Okay, we've seen 2 for Mega Tower. If I get one more for the Mega Tower, I'm doing Mega Tower. Troy, what bike around 1,500? Can't afford 5,000. There's plenty. You don't need a $5,000 bike, Michael, but Evil Offering. All right, you know what? We're okay. There it is. MTB Robert said Mega Tower, so we're going to Mega Tower right now. So, Santa Cruz Mega Tower. Let's see what we got here. So, as you guys, if you guys haven't seen our video, Kestrel says, out of curiosity, why are you changing away from the current pivot? What don't you like and what more are you looking for? I would say a couple of things for the pivot. Number one, it's time to try a new bike. Number two, as crazy as this sounds, the water bottle really bugs me, the fact that I can't fit it in the frame. A couple of other things that bug me is I can't run a coil shock on that pivot unless it's the push one, and I don't feel like spending $1,200 on a push coil shock. So just a couple of small stuff that like that. It's time to go around a bit. Tracer says, why so much bike talk? Because this is a bike live stream. So sorry, Tracer, but today we're talking about bikes. All right. So the Santa Cruz Mega Tower. This was a bike that we, what do you mean, Trek? Wait, Mo, I thought you had MacBook, not a Windows. We don't have a MacBook. We have Windows, unfortunately. And honestly, like, we need a MacBook. I feel like the MacBook will just change everything for us for the better. But okay, so getting into, I'm gonna stop looking at the chat just for a little bit, you guys. But so the Santa Cruz Mega Tower. This was a bike that we demoed. I want to say it was like a month now ago. Really rad bike, and I would say like, going into this demo, there was a lot of expectations for what this bike was going to be. I thought I knew what I was going to get. I felt like I was going to get basically my Firebird that pedals horribly. Just kind of looking on what they were trying to go for. It kind of looks like a Nomad with 29-inch wheels. I didn't really know like what was going on, what they were going to try and attempt with this bike. With all that being said, basically everything was somewhat, it threw me for a loop for sure. So out of all the bikes that we've ridden, and that includes the Ibis Ritmo, the Stump Jumper, the Firebird, basically everything that you guys seen us riding these last couple of months, this was probably the most comfortable pedaling position 29er that we have ridden, at least for me. Like, the pedaling position was so insanely dialed. And what I mean by that is it felt like you were literally inside of the bike when you were pedaling this bike, so on top. So with a lot of bikes, the chainstays end up being really short, which is rad. But a lot of times you're basically sitting on top of that chainstay. The the bike doesn't really feel balanced. You don't feel balanced in the bike. This one, you literally feel like you're inside of the bike. So all you have to do is basically just put some power down and pedal, and you make your way up. It almost makes you want to pedal, which is crazy. With all that being said, does it bob? Yeah, it does bob a little bit when you stand up and get out of the saddle. So if you're that like cross country climber and you really like having the efficiency platform to basically being able to stand up and just start mashing on the pedals, you're not going to get that from this bike. What you're going to get a bike is that as you sit down and pedal, it's going to take you to the top super comfortably and not necessarily the fastest, but at the same time, you won't be hating life on your way up. And then basically when you get up there, this bike just loves to go fast down. It's not a play bike, so it's not going to be the most poppy, playful, but at the same time, like it literally just charges a straight line. So if you're the type of rider who you're looking to get out there, you're looking to have the wildest time on a 29er, and you have this huge mountain that you want to climb up, you don't want to shuttle, you get to the top, and then you just want to basically just full tilt boogie to the bottom, highly recommend the Mega Tower. With all that being said, Santa Cruz, amazing bikes, amazing colors, amazing price points. And this is just personal opinion here. I don't know if necessarily too many people actually even care. I would say from a company point of view, I personally like did not have the best experience demoing this bike. Yeah, they were friendly. Like they didn't do anything like too out of sorts, but I didn't get that like it kind of felt like I was just dealing with this just massive corporation, which is funny because we just did a video with Specialized and completely not the case there. And I would say like the corporate feels like it's more at Santa Cruz right now than it did at Specialized. And I don't know, it was basically the demo experience. Maybe everyone was just having a bad day. We were in there twice though. And I don't know. I personally, like for me, like the whole thing with like, whether it's riding for a company, like potentially in the future getting sponsored or all that stuff, or just buying a bike, like the type of bikes I ride, I like to just also be a fan of the company overall. With that being said, it really doesn't matter for if the bike is a good bike or not. But I feel like that company, Santa Cruz, they're becoming really big, which is awesome. They're putting out great stuff. Didn't necessarily feel, it's been a couple of times interacting with them, but yeah, so that's just my personal opinion. Nothing against the bike. I would say the Mega Tower, probably the more stable 29er on the market and also the most comfortable to pedal. So high praise for the bikes. The company overall, yeah, I would say, I don't know, it not just, if you're going to buy this bike, just don't think too much about Santa Cruz as the company. Just think about the bike shop that you're buying it from and support them. Because, I mean, Art Cyclery is a dealer and they're a super rad shop. So just, you're supporting your local bike shop. But that is my thoughts on the Santa Cruz Mega Tower. Any thoughts or questions? How am I doing, you guys? Are you guys liking this style of live stream? We'll do more of a hangout one later in the week, but I'm going to check the chat section. God forbid, because I know Evan and Luke are spamming it. Let's see. SB150, Transition Sentinel. Wow, there's a lot of good recommendation. Was wait, are we back? I felt that over. Did you ban them, Hannah? Luke and Evan? Okay. I felt that over and on the bike feeling with the Firebird. Yeah, the Firebird definitely has, and we can talk about the Firebird too. I'm going to save that for the Firebird bet. We are back. Joe 540, you should try to build your own bike, craft the beauty, save a ton of money. If you have money, get a Blur Trail. Any questions? Gorilla Gravity Canyon Stride, Bird AM. Hannah put us in timeout. I would put you guys in timeout. Let's see. Why do you want a 29er? Okay, so someone's asking why I want a 29er. I've ridden 27.5 bikes for, I would say like I only rode 27.5 bikes for a couple of years. And as soon as I made the transition about like, I would say a year or two ago to the 29er, I just felt like for my height ratio, everything just felt a little bit more balanced. And I don't know, it just overall, like I kept going back to 27.5. and I just like it was never the same for me. So, Mo, I'm being serious. I know you don't use gloves. Maybe hand does. Which one do you prefer, or would you recommend? So for gloves, Troy Lee Designs, the air gloves, I feel like is really rad. But lots of history at Specialized. The Stump Jumper was the first production bike, I believe. Oh, Thomas, that's really good to know. I didn't know that the Stump Jumper was the first one in production. Commensal. All right. So does anyone have, what's the next bike you guys want me to talk about? Personally, 27.5. Hannah, censorship is bad and you guys should eat bacon. 29ers are better for tall people and plow over anything. Yeah, so okay, so we're gonna move on to the next bike. I don't understand what's going on in the comment section just because I've been so freaking lagged. Okay, so what bike do you guys want me to review next? Just throw some out there. YT Jeff C, Evil guys are the best. Never had any problems with them. So JS, with Evil bicycles, we're going to be in Bellingham in about 2 weeks. So I'm going to try and reach out to Evil and see if maybe we can do like another factory tour and then maybe some demos too. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Wow, there is so many people with recommendations. Jeff C. Okay, you guys, I seen Transition Sentinel too much, and Transition, I'm trying to get on their, I would say, good side. I don't know if good side or bad side. Basically, I'm hoping that I know no one at Transition, so I don't know anyone at Transition Bicycles. So if you guys know anyone at oh no, actually I do know one person that I reached out to. I want to basically do a factory tour with Transition Bikes. I feel like that will be amazing content. And I don't know, I just like it would be really rad to do it with them. I feel like they have the personality for that too. So if you guys watched our Specialized tour video, with that being said, with Specialized, we knew someone like that worked there that gave us the tour, and her personality was perfect for it. Hopefully the guys at Transition are really awesome. What are you doing? Okay. Yeah, so hopefully the guys at Transition are really rad, and hopefully they'll be down to do a tour video. If you're going to Bellingham, hit up Transition. I'm going to try and hit up Transition. It's always awkward when you do a video with a company and you don't know someone there, just because like I don't, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the person, like, I don't know. It's always different when like, you know, someone at a company when you're doing a video, just cause it's a little less awkward. I guess awkward is what I'm trying to say. But I feel like the guys at Transition I feel like they would be really, they have the personality for it. And that's what I've been loving of these videos. So. All right. Transition Sentinel. Okay, yeah, this is the other bike I want to talk about. So you guys, this is my thoughts on the Transition Sentinel. So, for the Transition, why don't you go inside? Oh, you need your shoes? Hannah's basically crawling trying to get her shoes. So for the Transition Sentinel, do you want to say hi to everyone or? No. Okay, she's really sick. So, so for the Transition Sentinel is a bike where Transition bikes in general, I definitely feel like they just pave the way. So if you guys have a chance, I would really recommend you guys to listen to I'm not a fan of the website, but I am of the podcast, Vital MTB. They do a podcast, and if someone can find that podcast with the owner of Transition Bicycles and put a link to it, that would be awesome. And so, yeah, so they have a podcast with the owner that gives you a really good glimpse into Transition Bicycles as a whole. And to just hear the story about how they basically took a leap of faith with the whole speed balance geometry, all that stuff, doing the reduced offset fork, going maximum full tilt boogie with the top tube and the slack head angles. So I would say all in all, like Transition has done a lot for the Enduro 29er. This bike in particular, I would say what really just stokes me out. Like I clicked on the wrong build. This one right here, I just feel like, no, I'm clicking on the wrong build. So Transition is a company, like they're based in Bellingham. And if you haven't been to Bellingham, Washington, basically in Bellingham, Washington, everyone is essentially a Mo with a van, normally way paler skin. They're not as tan as me. And they just love to ride bikes. And so, a company that's based out of there is just going to make bikes that like we all want to buy. So this build in particular, Transition Sentinel, $49.99. You get really solid suspension on there, a nice drivetrain, dropper post, good brakes. This thing is going to hit the trails freaking shredding. That's the build that I would buy. Very active suspension design, but at the same time, it still retains its poppy and playful nature. So I would say if you're looking for the poppy, playful nature of the Ibis Ritmo, but you want the stability of the Mega Tower, definitely a bike to consider. And so you look at some of these numbers on paper, if we can actually go to the geo chart, if I can find the geo chart, but we're going to look at this together. So chainstay length at 435, which still pretty good. So what else they got? The head angle, I believe, is like a 64 degrees. So the head angle is about a 64 degrees. So that's what I think is really rad with companies like this is you basically get the stability of bikes that are on the slacker side, but they understand that if you make a bike super slack, it still has to be responsive, or all you get is a bike that's basically going to just fly straight. So they tighten up the chainstays a little bit of pop on the suspension design. It only has 140 mils of travel in the rear as well. So even though you basically are falling into that downhill bike spectrum head angle at the 64 degree mark, you're getting a bike that it's still poppy, it's still playful. And like I said, I would say the Transition Sentinel is basically if the Mega Tower and the Ibis Ritmo had a baby. And if they had a baby and they combined, and I'm sure Evan and Luke are making a ton of baby jokes in the comment section. Yeah, I would say you get the Transition Sentinel. So I don't know. I can only speak high things about Transition bicycles. If I can get you guys a Transition tour video, I'm going to try my best and try to make that happen. But like I said, no promises there. Hopefully they're really rad and we can make that happen because I don't know. I feel like Transition is a company that gets it. So any questions so far on the Transition Sentinel? And if not, what's the bike you want me to talk about next? Let me know, you guys. Oh, RC Outdoor Gold in the house. What's going on, dude? Thank you so much for coming. I felt like I was swamped and thank you. I appreciate it. Who do we got? Your broken collarbone videos helped me out. Oh, I appreciate it, dude. Any questions so far, or what bike do you guys want me to talk about next? What about Evil Bikes Tour? Yeah, so Evil Bicycles is also in Bellingham, and maybe we'll talk about that next if we get enough requests in. You guys, let me know what's the next 29er you guys want me to talk about. Thank you guys so much for joining this live stream. Really nice having you here. Sorry if it's chaotic. I know my hair is chaotic, but I'm trying my best to keep up with everyone. Wow, there's a lot of people putting bikes out. RC Outdoor Gold, LOL. Evan and Luke, no, LOL. What is that? RC Outdoor Gold, I don't even want to know. Thank you so much for putting on. You guys, Outdoor Gold is a moderator too, so I really appreciate you coming here, Outdoor Gold. I really appreciate it. And you guys, if you aren't subscribed to Outdoor Gold, definitely go there. But only Mo has the power to create mod. I do. Not even just. All right, when are the dreads coming? Podcast link. Who else we got? Rick B, it's choppy for me too. You guys, is it too choppy? Hannah may have messed up the internet when she was walking out of here, but okay, RC was halfway. All right, so what's the next bike you guys want me to talk about? I'm thinking the Evil Offering. Let's go to that, or where do you guys want to go? Evil Offering. So Michael's saying something cheaper than 3,000 or even 2,000. Michael, there are plenty of bikes out there in that price point. I'm not the best person to ask about bikes like that. Like everyone's got to start somewhere, and I would highly recommend check out Trail Features. He has so many good videos on like budget full suspension bikes. So I would say that's the man with the plan for those videos. But Evil Offering. So this is where we're going. Let's see what we got here. Everride Trek Slash, new car. Man, there's so many. You guys, there's a lot of people here. I'm trying my best. Okay, Evil Offering. So we're going to try and make this a little bit quicker. Evil, another company that just moved to Bellingham. So if I can basically But curious about your thoughts. Adam Murray, dude, thank you so much for that $10 super chat, Adam. Really appreciate it. He wants to know thoughts on the Stumpy. We already covered the Stumpy, so if you rewind just a little bit, it'll be right there. But basically, really fun both up and down. Feel free to email me with any more questions. Thanks for that super chat, Bet. So for the Evil offering, I would say this is a bike that, I don't know, it's pretty interesting. So they make bikes with same thing, a little bit more of an active suspension design that still retains that poppy, playful nature. With all that being said, in comparison to bikes like the Ritmo and Transition, I would say the Evils tend to stick to the ground a little bit more. So I'd say the suspension design is a little bit more active. The geometry, I would say, is going to be, I don't know, on par with something like the Transition, but they definitely like to go a little bit even shorter on those chainstays. So if you're a fan of short chainstays, Evil bikes definitely, like, they know how to get those things nice and tucked in. The only thing with Evil is they are a little bit of a smaller company. So anytime you shift over to a company like a little bit on the smaller side, even though they'll pump out amazing product and the bikes ride so nice, they're so rad, you are sacrificing a little bit in terms of budget. So like bang for buck, I think you get a little bit more bang for buck with a company like Transition. And then you definitely get a lot more bang for buck with a company like Specialized. But you're also going to, I don't know, the warranty thing is another tough thing. So I haven't looked too much into the current warranty status with Evil bikes. In the past, I definitely, not that they didn't take care of their customers, they took care of them, but it was just in a little bit of a slower manner than a bigger company could. And that's just because of, I don't know, I think anytime you get like that small of a company, it's tough to keep up with supply, especially when you crank out an amazing bike that everyone wants. So I think Evil is going to be a really good company to look at, especially the next 2 or 3 years. So I definitely think they have a strong thing going. I really like the offering. I think it's a really solid platform with 140 mils of travel in the rear, 160 mils of travel up front. I would say you can go either way on this one. You can over beef it and put a coil shock and put a coil fork on there with just a really beefy build, or you can even make it more of a trail bike. So you can go either way on these things, which is really rad. And if this isn't enough travel for you, they also have the Reckoning, which would be another good thing. But that's my thoughts on the Evil offering. What's the next bike you guys want me to talk about? Or do you guys have any questions? RC Outdoor Gold says, I think Evil is at 3-year warranty. They are. So I think right now Evil is at about, I mean, let's check ourselves. So I want to say Evil right now is at about 3 years for the warranty, which is still cool. But at the same time, I don't know. It's tough. That's going to be the other thing going forward, is how important is warranty? Because we saw with YT, and we'll get to YT in a little bit, the warranty was an issue for a lot of riders. So they saved a lot of money, but then they waited a ton of time to get those replacement parts. So I will say that, I don't know, that's definitely something to consider when you are buying a bike. What editing software do you use? Premiere Pro, but unrelated question. And there's so many questions. I'm trying my best, you guys. Okay, so the next bike we're going to talk about today is going to be the YT Jeffsy. Sorry if I'm just moving along, but a lot of bikes that we want to talk about and not too much time. So YT Jeffsy, RC Outdoor Gold. I feel like to compete in 2019, warranty has to be 5 years to lifetime. And I have a feeling if you give another year, the warranty does have to be lifetime. I would say 7 years. The only thing I don't get about lifetime warranties is who actually has such a small percentage of the population. But of course, he's getting a 4K bike for his first full suspension. Commensal. I don't know what you guys are saying, but we're going to keep on going. So bikes. I am on the Jeffsy, right? I feel like I clicked on it. Trail, here it is. So I will say, YT Jeffsy, Steve C, more bikes you look at, the harder the decision becomes. Steve, that is completely true, but if you can, you should just buy them all. Also, Steve, thank you so much for that Wi-Fi extender. That's basically how we're live streaming right now. Really appreciate it, dude. We've been able to snipe Wi-Fi left and right, but Intense Carbon. I feel like I'm delayed to this chat. I'm going to try it just a little bit, but we're going to start talking about the YT Jeffsy. Okay, so YT Jesse is a 20. We're going with a 29er. So this is a bike that I don't know. I think it's gonna set the standard for price point. So obviously with YT, you do get a lot of bang for buck. These bikes, like when me and Hannah rode them, they definitely had probably one of the most active suspension designs that we had pedaled. They are claiming that this suspension design is going to be a little bit more poppy and playful, a little bit more pedal efficient than the previous one, whatever changes they made to the YT Jeffsy. With all that being said, I think with YT, what you really are getting is you're getting a bike that's going to perform really good on the downs. You are going to get a little bit of bob on the climbs, is what we experienced when we were demoing the Capras. The Jessies, I feel like somewhat similar of a suspension design, might pedal a little bit better. But at the same time, I do feel like you are going to have a little bit of bob on these things. But at the same time, not a deal breaker, because they're basically going to stick to the ground, just stay planted on the downhills. And overall, they're just going to be a really fun time just flying downhill. Now, with all that being said, you're saving a ton of money, right? How much is it worth the potential headache of a warranty claim? That's where I feel like that's going to be the answer of 2019. Don't get me wrong. I definitely think that YT probably like one of the cooler companies in terms of marketing. The people that work over there are also really rad. They are an international company, basically importing into the States to their US headquarters. And I think that's where you're starting to see some of the, I would say, drawbacks, is that like when something does go wrong, normally it's overproduction. They can't keep up. And like, say you have like a warranty issue, it does take a little longer to get those warranty parts in. So I have had buddies who've been waiting 4 to 6 weeks for like a replacement triangles, maybe even longer than that. I heard some bad stories like month, 2, 3 months. They always end up taking care of the customer in the end. But at the same time, like if you're the type of rider who basically like it's peace of mind is important to you, yes, you are going to be saving a lot of money in the beginning. You do get what you pay for. And so I definitely think that like, I don't know, 2018 wasn't the strongest year for their customer service in the States. I definitely think that they are changing the game for mountain biking. They're forcing other brands to basically lower their price point. And I would say YT as a whole is doing a lot for the mountain bike world. At the same time, though, I definitely think they have some things to kind of work on before they basically surpass like Giant and Specialized and all those companies. But I definitely think that they're doing some strong showings there. I really like the Jeff C. I think it is going to be a very capable 29er. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on the YT Jeff C. What do you guys want me to go over next? I'm going to check the comments section just a little bit. Someone saying, man, there's so many comments. Santa Cruz lifetime transition is 3. That is correct, Mike Young. Thanks for that. Thomas, they have a great commercial. Yeah, they got that famous celebrity in their commercial, which was really insane. MTB Ripper, Santa Cruz stood by their words on frames. Yeah, so the cool thing with Santa Cruz, I would say, is that warranty. So I definitely think that Santa Cruz, like that lifetime warranty, like pretty tough to beat. And it's on bearings as well, if you guys didn't know that too. So well, Steve says buy spare parts. Yeah, and unfortunately, sometimes you do need to buy a spare frame on that case, because especially if you don't want to wait for a while. But who else do we get? Ellsworth Rogue 60, Ellsworth Wear Transition and Evil Backs. Man, sorry, I'm really trying. How would it change the geometry? 29 front and 27 and a half. Steve, so 29 front, 27 and a half is a really cool thing. I haven't experimented with it too much, but I do have some buddies who have tried it out and they've been a huge fan. But as soon as I try to basically get that thing dialed in, I'll definitely keep you posted. Who else? Specialized Enduro. Hey man, come to Colorado. All right. So anything else that you guys want me to talk about? What's the next bike? Kona 153. You know what? Kona bicycle. We're going to stick with the Bellingham train. So Kona Process 153. All right. So we're going to go to Kona's website. Any input on Rocky Mountain bikes? We will go over Rocky Mountain too. I feel like we're going like the PNW BC area bikes. But if anyone has any other questions about 29er bikes, definitely let me know. This we'll do another live stream later on. It's a little bit more casual, but for now, mountain process. This is more 29er trail bikes. And how am I doing, you guys? Is this hopefully you guys are still entertained. I'm pretty blown away that I'm still going. Awesome. What? All right, so Kona process 29. So what I really like about Kona in this process is I don't know, it's pretty interesting that a company that in my eyes, Kona is basically a bunch of dirt bags that just want to send themselves off of cliffs on their bikes. Like they definitely have like this really core vibe to them, a little bit more on the dirt backy side. I could see someone like looking like me picking up the phone at Kona headquarters saying, "What's going on? This is Kona." I don't know. It's really interesting that on their long travel 29er, it's kind of interesting that they didn't go slacker on the head angle. That's what really kind of I'm still curious about this bike because if you guys look at the head angle on this, you're at 66 degrees, and I know that that's still somewhat slack. But it's a company like Kona, and this is like their long travel 29er, 153 mils. With all that being said, I feel like if I needed to make a guess and basically just let them know like why I think they did that, I think in Bellingham you have a lot of like tight, twisty sections, a lot of really good foresty section, big trees that you're trying to get away from. And I think when you go too slack on the head angles, it takes away a little bit of the responsiveness from that front end. And I think that's where you start to see the head angle getting a little bit steeper, just to kind of give you a little bit more responsiveness from that front end. Something that I am curious about, and maybe you guys can tell me, I don't think it doesn't look like they do the short offset fork. Let's see what they do for fork offset. Yeah, normally when a company doesn't talk about it, that means they're not using it. So it doesn't look like they're using a shorter offset fork, which is a good indication that I feel like this bike is going to be, it's due for an update. And if I was to guess what they were going to do in the future, it would be basically make the top tube a little bit longer, the head tube a little bit slacker, and then go with the shorter reach offset fork. For those of you that might be a little bit confused in terms of what I'm talking about, so Transition essentially started this, well, I think it was Gary Fisher with the short offset forks, but basically companies, when they make bikes a little bit slacker, what they tend to do is sometimes they'll design the geometry based around a shorter offset fork, and that what that does is it brings the preciseness back to the front end of the bike without getting too technical there. You basically are able to have a little bit more preciseness, more control, more responsiveness from that front end. It doesn't feel as slack, but at the same time, you still get the stability from the overall head angle and that reach as well. Head angle being slack and fork offset being short go together. Yeah, Thomas. So, and that's why I feel like on the next generation of this Kona 153, what you'll probably see is most likely like a 65 or a 64.5 degree head angle, and most likely a shorter offset fork. So I will say overall, though, I really like the color of this bike. I definitely think that Kona bikes definitely tend to be a little bit more on. They tend to perform somewhat like DW Link style bikes, but just a little bit more active. So you still get the poppy playfulness nature of those bikes. But at the same time, I feel like you definitely get a much more active like initial stroke of travel on the Kona bikes. Now Kona is the type of company to be like, I just feel like they expect everyone to basically take their bike and just go to like a 5-story building and be like, can I huck this to flat? And like, so I feel like they're somewhat expecting that. So from a warranty perspective, I would say Kona's always been pretty good. We worked for a pretty diehard Kona shop back in the day. And they always treated their customers right. They had a really good, and I feel like Kona's somewhat vague when it comes to business. Like, they don't really kind of like disclose too much of like their production and all that stuff. But at the same time, I just feel like they just make good bikes and they take care of their customers and they have a cool company culture. So I'll try to make a video with them, but I would say like that's my opinion on Kona bicycles. Any questions? And I'm going to jump into the chat, even though it hasn't been as successful as DHF and DHR. I don't know what the definitions are, but I run DHF front and rear. What does 3C, I think you mean, Steve, on the DHF tire? That's the compound, so it's a little bit of softer compound, where the just standard is going to be a little bit of a firmer compound that you should run in the rear. It'll last a little bit longer. Kona is just being conservative with design for now. Thomas, I agree with you too. I feel like they're also not the type of company to, Kona's also an odd company. I feel like they'll be like, let's make a fat bike, gravel, enduro, touring cyclocross bike out of steel and titanium with a carbon fiber head tube. And then I feel like they're sitting around like the table in their office and they're like, that sounds like an amazing idea. Let's make it. And then there's probably like one intern that raises their hand that says, hey guys, like everyone's asking for like a long travel 29er, like with like 64-degree head angle. Like I feel like that's the way to go. And then they'll be like, nope, this is what we want to ride. So this is what we're going to make. So, Happy Biker, you got people asking for Rocky Mountain, Commensal, and Canyon. Okay, so let's move on. Trail Weeks is in the house. Trail Weeks, how are you doing, dude? Okay, so let's move on. Everyone, I guess people are asking for Canyon Strive 29. Does that sound right? Canyon Strive. Let's see. Why? Oh, awesome MTB. What's the deal with Canyon Bicycle? You guys see that? That's so cool. That is so rad. How did our video pop up? Canyon Strive. What's your thoughts on the PressFit BB, says Medi. Medi, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while, dude. PressFit BB, not a fan. I think companies should just do a threaded just because it's easier to work on when you're on the road. Let's see. I do not want, why do you guys want my email, Canyon? I did a video with you guys. We don't need to give you our email. MTB, let's see what we got here. Canyon Strive. J33P Adventures, awesome MTB, Fazzario Salt Peak. I see your message. How about we do that next? Does that sound good? What are we doing with our life? I don't know. What are we doing with our life? Sorry, no one actually asked that. I'm just thinking about that in my mind because this is definitely pretty chaotic. Where Canyon, come on, just give me the Strive 29. I just want the Strive 29. Can we do that? What is going on here? Strive. So shapeshifter. I'm trying to bring it up for you guys. The Canyon Strive. 29-inch wheels. Yeah, why won't they show us the bikes though? Doing good, bro. Thanks. I hate PressFit BBs. Okay, so maybe I'm just like, maybe I'm just dumb. Am I dumb? I don't think I'm dumb. Features. Yep. Luke, did you just call me dumb? Freaking Luke. I'm telling your mom, dude. Okay, so I can't. Okay, so it's all the way on the bottom. All bikes. Canyon Strive. There we go. Here it is. Strive CF. Okay, so we're doing this. We're doing this one right here, which is pretty. We'll do this one because we demoed it. So we went to Canyon Strive. We went to Canyon's headquarters down in Carlsbad. And you guys, if you ever want free coffee or a free demo, just go to Canyon Bicycles. I don't get why more people don't just take advantage of that system. Because I think they want you to take advantage of it too. So you get a free demo, you get free coffee, you get free LaCroix. They have like a TV. Luke and Evan, you guys can probably go play PlayStation or whatever kids play over there. Just take your console down. But yeah, so RC Outdoor Girls say not bad deals on RC Strats. Yeah, so I would say price point is really rad on these. What I really liked with the Canyon is that Strive technology. I don't know, it's the shapeshifter technology that basically adjusts the geo with the press of that button. It sounds like mumbo jumbo. It does actually work. I could feel a difference, steepen the seat angle when I was climbing. With that being said, did I feel like I needed the shapeshifter there? Yes and no. I would say as it sat, yeah, I did feel like I did need the shapeshifter because the geo was set up so that you do have it in the climbing mode. But it was a little awkward, kind of the thumb on the left and the dropper post and all this stuff going on. So I will say it definitely feels it takes a little bit to kind of get used to it. The bike climbs insanely well, so it pedals really well. Really good price point. On the downhills, it's super stable, almost a little too stable in the size. So it is a proper sizing bike, and if anything, I would say the sizing's a little off too. If you're normally in between a large and an extra large, I would definitely go with a large. The extra large is freaking humongous. I felt like I could sit 3 more riders on the top tube in front of me and still have plenty of space. So I would say if you're a taller rider, you will appreciate the Canyon Strive. Um, and if you're a rider who you're looking for a bike that pedals really well, that's nice and stable, you're really into I would say technology and like tinkering with things, the Canyon Strive is definitely something cool to kind of mess with. You definitely need to be someone who likes to tinker with your bikes because there's a lot going on with the shapeshifter and shapeshifter pressure and air pressure in your shock and all this stuff. So I will say, I don't know, Mo frickin' frick, read voice cracks. What? I don't know what you're saying, Luke. But yeah, so like if you're the type of rider who like you really like technology, you like saving money, you like free coffee, you like free bike demos, the Canyon Strive right up your alley. They are going above and beyond right now for their customers. So definitely recommend the Canyon Strive. We're gonna move on to really fast before the comment sections get swamped by Evan and Luke to the Fazari LaSalle Peak because I did promise someone that we would talk about this for a little bit. The Fazari LaSalle Peak, if I can figure this out. Okay, so Fazari LaSalle Peak, you're not getting, I would say, the least glamorous bike right now in terms of, I mean, it still looks really good, but they don't do the marketing hype. I feel like that's where they're really saving their money is they're not just like out there trying to sponsor like 50 pro riders and like pay for everyone's bikes and all this stuff. And I feel like they're cutting costs in like places that make sense. Like, why give a pro rider like I don't know, like the whole pro rider it's like it's cool to support people's passion, but at the same time, you feel like companies are starting to realize the more free stuff you give out, the more you need to figure out where is that free going to come from and like what's the ROI, what's the return on investment. And I feel like Fazari basically said, hey, can we cut like advertisement costs? They're going direct to consumer. They're just a bunch of other things that they feel like they need to cut in order to bring the price point down and also make the bikes really good. So I would say the Fazari LaSalle Peak, the first thing I noticed when I sat on this bike is, man, oh freaking man, it literally feels like you're sitting on your handlebars. That's how steep the seat angle is, which was amazing. Like, I don't get why more companies realize, like, hey, just make the seat angle, just freaking slam it up. We need it slammed up so we can put all of our power down. So I would say geo-wise, they're on to something. Price point-wise as well. Let's just buy this bike right now. Don't tell Hannah, you guys. We're just going to purchase it. Price point, so $45.99. You're basically getting top of the line suspension, super solid drivetrain, really nice brakes, really nice suspension. You're getting basically Lyric and that Monarch Plus top of the line. And then geo-wise, it's really spot on. The bikes definitely have a really proper suspension design as well. And I've had, there's a couple of bike reviewers that I really look up to. I feel like they really know what they're doing when they review bikes. And I haven't seen a single one of those guys walk away disappointed from demoing one of these Fazaris. With that being said, maybe they might be like paying those dudes $10,000, but just judging by like everything in general, like I feel like the bikes ride really well, amazing price point. from what I hear, customer service pretty top notch as well. Like I haven't heard any issues with warranties and all that stuff that you sometimes hear with like a company like YT. And so I feel like if Fazari can keep this up, go to bottom of page. Yeah. So I feel like if Fazari can keep this up, keep up the solid price point, the customer service, huge, so crucial. Like they need to keep up the customer service, keep up the demo fleet, and I think they're on to something here. The only thing that I would say Fazari might suffer from right now and maybe the next few years is the cool name factor. I think it's going to take a while before like the masses get convinced that like Fazari is like the cool brand. YT spent, and like if you guys think YT is cool just because they're YT, like absolutely not the case. Like YT spent so much money making themselves like the cool brand. That's what marketing is. Like you need to market your company. And at the same time, marketing is a crucial part of a company. And YT did an amazing job making direct to consumer cool. Like before it was like kind of lame. You had just like generic box brands and all that stuff doing direct to consumer. YT comes in the mix, spends a bunch of money on pro athletes, free riders, and all that stuff, gives it this cool image, and now they have that cool name and people kind of go to and respect. Fazari still in the building phase. I feel like if they can dial in the marketing approach, Fazari's stupid commercial jingle is now stuck in my head. You guys need to send that commercial to me because I've never seen it. But I will say overall, Fazari, pretty solid bikes. I think they're on to a really good thing. Mo, please look into Forbidden Fruit. No, Evan, I don't trust you, Evan. So for those of you who might be new to the chat, Evan and Luke are basically our resident trolls, and we can't ban them because I feel too bad. I think they're like 7 and 8 years old. So you guys keep with the good. I'm out, yo. Later, Kurt. All right, you guys, we got a couple more bikes. I'm gonna do 2 more. How about that? So what's the next bike you guys want me to look at? Shoot them off, and then yeah, we're gonna do 2 more, and then we're gonna make our way. Hopefully you guys are like, Bryson, what's up, guys? Are you still meeting us in Italy for the bike pass? Dude, Bryson in the house. So for those of you that don't know, Bryson is the owner of DVO Suspension. And I will say, I know that we're biased. DVO has to probably be the nicest suspension we've run. And it actually has ruined the ride for a lot of test rides we've been doing lately. With all that being said, dude, Bryson, DVO crew, highly recommend checking them out and can't speak enough good things about them. So, yeah, so go DVO. And then, wow, you guys have so many bikes. We don't have all night, you guys. So, what's the more popular one? Review Evan. It's Da Vinci Troy Commensal, dude. All right, we're gonna check out. Okay, I'm just gonna Gorilla Gravity Smash. You know, I'm gonna go with the Gorilla Gravity Smash because I really do like this company, and I feel like they Gorilla Gravity Smash. And I feel like Gorilla Gravity, based out of Colorado, I believe. This company is really cool. And I've had a chance to talk to, I believe his name is Jordan, who works for that company. Jordan or Bobby. It's one of the two, you guys. If you guys know who I actually talked to, maybe it was Bobby. I'm horrible with names. I think Jordan works at Da Vinci. Or no, Jordan works somewhere, but so Gorilla Gravity, the Smash. Cool thing with Gorilla Gravity, they figured out a way to basically make their frames affordable, direct to consumer, and you just get so much like bang for buck out of those builds. Like it's absolutely wild how much bang for buck. So the other cool thing is you're able to customize your build with the Gorilla Gravity as well. And like, I don't know, I definitely do my research. I keep an eye on all these brands, see how they're treating their customers and all this stuff. And I just feel like this company, like, even though they might not be like the easiest in terms of like if you want a discount or any of that stuff, but I don't even feel like you really need a discount. I feel like this company just sticks behind their product. Like a buddy of mine got one of their bikes stolen and like didn't even tag Gorilla Gravity. Gorilla Gravity found that post, was commenting, I think even reshared it. So I feel like that says a lot about a company's company culture. And I definitely think like they have a good thing going in Colorado, making these bikes super solid. Geo-wise, insanely big bikes. Like those things are so long in the top tube. So if you're a tall rider, Highly recommend checking out the Gorilla Gravity. Super stable bike overall, but I would say the biggest thing is going to be that price point, like I said. So, in terms of build overview, so yeah, so 45.95, and you're looking at this is the carbon. Yeah, it's insane. So you're looking at carbon, you're looking at solid suspension. It's not DVO. We need to get DVO on there, but you're just looking at so much bang for buck coming from a company that's super passionate about riding mountain bikes. And I think that's something that's very tough to beat. The only thing that I would say with Gorilla Gravity is this is their, I believe, their first time trying to manufacture carbon. And I know that they know what they're doing. They probably have this thing dialed in. It's going to be interesting to see, like, and yeah, Steve, yeah, they are handmade in the USA, and I think that says a lot too. But it is going to be interesting to keep an eye on this company the next couple of years, because I think, unlike YT, that definitely has a little bit more of a bigger corporation feel. Gorilla Gravity still has this roots environment, just small company culture, making amazing bang for buck builds with a really solid, reliable, robust frame. So I think strong things are going to be coming from Gorilla Gravity in the future. All right, you guys, last one. We're going to do one more bike, and then I can't talk anymore. I tried my best. Bryson says, thanks, buddy. Get over here. X Cobra for the win. All right, so last bike. Who's going to be the lucky winner for the last bike of the night? We're almost done. Go for the companies trying to make a bike that people want to ride. There you will find fun. Yeah. I honestly think, like, I don't know, company culture, like, as I grow up, is becoming more and more important. I don't think I really understood it until, like, I started to talk to these companies, become friends with them, figure out, like, the owner of these companies at the end of the day, like, as a family, like, is a normal human being. It's not like this crazy mystical feature. So I think company culture is definitely becoming more important to me as everything goes on. But all right, so what are we seeing? Okay, you guys, I think Da Vinci Troy wins. Da Vinci Troy, is that good? I feel like everyone was asking for it. I literally looked down and all I saw was Da Vinci Troy. So Da Vinci Troy 29. We're doing Da Vinci Troy. English Da Vinci. Okay, you guys, can their website work? Okay, bear with me, you guys. I'm trying my absolute hardest here, but how's everyone doing tonight? Because I am exhausted. There was a lot of talking here. Thank you guys for staying with me throughout the whole live stream. Trying my best. We'll do a funner one later on in the week, and maybe I'll try to do a little bit more of these informational one live stream with Mo. I like that, Luke. I'll try to do more like informational live streams because I really do like the style, just being able to talk about bikes. And shout out to Steve for the Wi-Fi extender because it makes these live streams so much more possible. So thank you so much, Steve. You guys, why am I missing the bike? Can anyone tell me? Thanks, Mo. You the man, bro. Dude, thanks so much, Flat Outs. You guys, where am I? Da Vinci Troy S? Carbon X01? Is that it? More live streams. I know people want to see more live streams. We're trying our absolute best. Is this the bike? Anyone? More live streams? Anyone else? Can someone just confirm that this is the bike so I don't talk about the wrong bike? I believe this is the bike you guys want me to talk about. So, have you seen Cubalis Francisco? Who's Cubalis Francisco? God, have you seen the Trek full stash? I have Cubalis, and it looks like a super good bike. The Trek, I don't know, Treks are really rad. So I have seen that one. No, scroll down to 29 Trail. I'm trying my best. Why am I not finding that bike? Diamondback. You're on the 27.5 version of the Troy. All right, yeah. Can someone direct me to Da Vinci? Why does your website suck? -1 points because their website sucks. Can I be your tech guy? You can't. Oh, okay. So let's go down. XC. All I'm seeing, you guys. Marshall Carbon, Diamond Carbon. Oh, why you guys don't leave me hanging in the chat. What am I doing wrong? Da Vinci Mountain. Troy. Okay, here it is. Troy 29. There we go. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there it is. Whoa, why the hell is that expensive? That is stupid. I'm sorry. Excuse my language. Is stupid a bad word? I don't think stupid is about is Anna, is stupid a bad word? There is no point for that to be that expensive. That is what is going on there. But okay, so this was the bike that the owner of Worldwide Cyclery, Jeff, was riding. I will say though, I did have a chance to basically sit on this thing, see how it feels geo-wise. It feels insanely stiff. So if you're the type of rider who you really like stiff bikes, and I know a couple of riders who they really like their bikes just nice, stiff, precise, this is the bike for you. So heavier riders, riders who a little bit more of a cross-country tendency, they still want an active suspension design, but they want the stiffness platform to really just be able to kind of stand up and just hammer out of the saddle. Highly recommend checking this thing out. In terms of the build, this is a I'm sorry, I'm going to say it one more time. This is a dumb build. I feel like that's a much more appropriate word. For that price point, $91.99, it's not worth $91.99. So I don't know what they were on when they were designing the bike. In terms of the actual numbers on paper, 75-degree seat angle, looks super proper. Head angle's at 66, so it's going to be a little bit more of a responsive trail bike. Chainstay at 432. So yeah, nice tight chainstays. So yeah, I would say overall, very proper 29-inch trail bike. Extremely stiff. Like that, I can't emphasize that enough just because I felt like that was probably one of the selling points for me, or also breaking points. Some people don't like riding bikes that are a little too stiff just because you end up getting a little bit of a harsher ride overall. Combine that with carbon wheels, and then you just have battery is dying quickly. Thanks for everything, Hannah. Hope you feel better later, Steve. Yeah. But I would say, yeah, so a little bit on the stiffer side. Some people absolutely love that. Some people don't necessarily like that. But I will say, if you're out there, you have a cross-country background, you want an active suspension design, you want stability, because it is a little bit of a longer top tube as well. But at the same time, you don't want to sacrifice stiffness and pedaling. It's CAD, not USD. Okay, that makes so much. No, it says US dollars. Unless, am I? I'm not stupid. Am I stupid? I'm reading US dollars. Cushcore makes it better. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for you guys to say that is a dumb price point. I'm sorry, Da Vinci. Like maybe I'm ruining. That color looks cool. It's not worth $91.99. Maybe I'm ruining any future. Just go look at Banshee Prime, BC company, super sick. All right, I'll look at the Banshee Prime for you too. It's in US dollars. Yeah, you guys, sorry. If do not buy this build. Like, if you bought this build, I apologize. I hope I didn't offend anyone. But that is so dumb. Like, does it do your taxes? Does it what are you getting for $91.99? That price means eating ramen noodles for the rest of my life. I wouldn't even be able to eat ramen noodles. I'd have to freaking graze on grass. What is going on there? Like, I don't understand. 91. Who is doing the man? I feel like I'm ruining any potential future sponsorship with Da Vinci because I really do like the bike overall, like as it rides. I think like I said, very stiff frame. I felt like I talked about the bike like it was good, right, guys? So if Da Vinci like ever finds out about that, but yeah, that's a waste of money. Mo on a tantrum. I'm not on a tantrum. I'm just pointing out the obvious. Da Vinci like should not fire. I don't want people to get fired, but what were they thinking? That's sometimes like, so here's what blows me away with bike companies. Always blows me away. These bike companies like are dealing with so much money, and not saying that I could run a bike company. I couldn't. I definitely wouldn't be able to. Blows me away that these companies do stuff like this. I didn't curse. And think they're like, why didn't you run it by anyone? Who's gonna buy that build? It has race face carbon wheels. Nothing against race face, but for that type of money, like you're gonna need like to be a dentist or a surgeon, and you don't want to run race face carbon wheels. You want envy wheels. So like what is I don't get it. I don't get it sometimes, but okay. So I promised someone that I would look at the Banshee Prime 29. I really like Banshee. The Spartan is a super long bike. I do. I really do like the bike. I like that band or that Da Vinci Spartan, but I don't know what they were freaking American cost a lot. Must be the best. Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster in the house. What's going on, dude? Um, Somebody will pay for it. That's the thing that blows me away. You guys, if you're a dentist and you're watching this live stream trying to figure out what $10,000 bike to buy, nothing wrong with that too. I always tell people that like people used to a bike of that price is a prime candidate go on end of season clearance. Utter gold, completely true. So I've always told people that like, so when I used to work in a bike shop, right, there'd always be like heckling, be like, oh, like just like it's just some dentist that wants a $10,000 bike. There is nothing wrong with buying a $10,000 bike. You guys are hearing it on this live stream. Before you guys absolutely yell at me, I'm sure people are yelling at their screen right now. There is nothing wrong with buying a $10,000 bike if $10,000 like isn't that crazy of a deal to you. Like if you can afford to buy a $10,000 bike, buy a $10,000 bike. And to anyone who wants to make fun of someone buying a $10,000 bike, don't. Like because that's only helping you. Because the more companies sell those $10,000 bikes at full pop, the more likely that company is going to have a successful year. And the more likely that that technology is going to start flowing down into more affordable price points and like all that stuff. They'll have room to do budget builds and whatnot. So I will say, like, there's no point in making fun of a dentist with a $10,000 bike because they are literally making our sport. Because I'm not paying $10,000 for a bike. None of my friends are paying 10,000. We're dirtbags. And even though like we can ride bikes really well, we don't have money to we're not contributing jack freaking squat to the monetary value like of a company from like a bike perspective. So why would I make fun of someone that's literally like supporting these companies? So just my rant there. But so Banshee Prime 29. I haven't actually taken too good of a look at Banshees. I just know they look really cool. So rear size. So I think let's see, which is like 12,000 US dollars. Trail POV is saying 12,000 US dollars. Let's see, Banshee Prime. Let's see what the numbers are looking at. So Banshee is definitely an aggressive mountain bike company. So I basically think of just like a bunch of really aggressive aggro, gnarly shredding dudes. Let's look at the head angle. 66.5. Surprisingly, not that steep. That's actually pretty cool. Seat angle 75. Yeah, the bike looks good on paper. What's that chainstay? I bet you they go with a little bit of a longer chainstay. Do they? Chainstay 17.6. Yeah, that's how you know that company is fast. Anytime a company goes with a longer chainstay, you know, like most of those dudes just love shredding a line at like 1,000,000 miles an hour. Yeah, so I would say really cool frame. Geo seems freaking dialed. I know these bikes, the faster you go, the more stable they get, and that's why they have a little bit of a longer chainstay as well. They're meant to be ridden at a little bit higher speeds. And I would say, like, if you're the type of rider who really likes getting after it, this is your bike. So adjustable geo apparently doesn't affect the suspension kinematics. Yeah, that's what I think that this has like a potential to be run like a lot of different ways too, which is really rad, especially if you're trying to get more bang for buck. I'm in Oklahoma. It does pedaling, climbing too, surprisingly. Yeah, when we're in Canada, we're going to try and check this company out. All right, you guys, that was the end of the talking about bikes. Any questions, any last minute questions? I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. How did I do? Did I do decently? Hopefully I did. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know we had a lot of people in here. I tried just keeping up with everyone. It's tough with one person. Insta live stream with me and Evans. Tell Hannah to feel better. I will tell Hannah to feel better. She is under the weather with the flu. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this live stream. That's more informative session. I'm going to try and bring you guys these a little bit more frequently too. Maybe next time we won't even have a specific topic, but I just figured get a little bit more like topic oriented this one. Maybe we'll try to do something later. Kubalos, you did awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. The Banshee line is not to be old, non-boost rear. But yeah, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Thomas, I'm out and you rule. Later, let's see those guns, son. Mehdi, I don't have any guns, dude. Hannah called me out. No biceps yet. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Any last minute comments, concerns? Just gonna read through this real fast. Um, man, I am tired, you guys. That was a lot of talking. Thanks, guys. Later, Kestrel. Later, Q Wallace. Later, Heisenblade. Mike Young. RC Outdoor Gold. Peace out, Arto Gold. Dan K, where are we headed next? We are headed to Bellingham. Thanks, bro. Love you. Later, buddy. Have a good dude, Medi. It was awesome to see you again, too. Great job, Mo. I saw an Ibis Rimo after demoing 8 bikes. You are gonna love that bike. Have a good night, Mo. Later, POV. Night Ron. Night Billy. Man, there was a lot of people in here today. All right, good night, you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that live stream. Thank you so much for watching. I got to figure out a way to turn this thing off. How do I turn this off? Oh, I don't think I turned that off. Off. How do I turn this off? Off.